Look at a remarkable piece of Middle Eastern history in addition to the Dead Sea Scrolls. Fragments of biblical script and other writings were found recently in a cave by Israeli archaeologists.
The world is full of secrets, buried in places most of us would never dare to look. From a mysterious giant doorway in the mountains to a book no one has ever decoded.
The Voynich manuscript is a book written by hand that is reliably dated to the early part of the 15th century.
A massive footprint etched in stone and treasure sealed in caves for centuries. The truth can be stranger than fiction. Get ready for 20 mysterious discoveries found in places science can't explain. Mysterious giant door. Imagine hiking in the mountains of Kazakhstan, close to the Chinese border, and suddenly spotting something that looks like a massive doorway carved into the rock. That's exactly what a group of explorers found, about 6,500 feet above sea level in the Dzungarian Alatau Range. The footage that went viral online shows this giant door-like opening, around 40 feet high and wide, sitting against a sloping rock wall. From above, it even looks perfectly circular. The clip left people stunned, with theories exploding across social media. Some claim it's proof of ancient alien activity, while others joke that maybe there's a spaceship parked behind it. Of course, the internet being the internet, one Harry Potter fan chimed in saying, "Just run into it full speed, you might end up at Hogwarts." But not everyone is buying the alien angle. Mark Allen, a professor of earth sciences at Durham University, explained that what looks like a man-made doorway could actually be the result of natural erosion. Different rock layers wear away at different speeds, creating unusual shapes that can trick the eye. So, alien portal? Or just nature's handiwork? For now, the mystery stays wide open. Giant dinosaur skull. Off the coast of southern England, something incredible just came out of the cliffs. A giant skull, over 6 feet long, was uncovered on Dorset's Jurassic coast. It belongs to a pliosaur, a massive sea predator that ruled the oceans about 150 million years ago. This thing wasn't just big, it was a killer built for speed. At nearly 40 feet long, with 4 huge flippers and a jaw that snapped shut with more force than today's saltwater crocodiles, it could take down anything in its path. Its teeth, over 100 of them, were sharp enough to slice through flesh and even crunch bone. Some scientists have compared it to an underwater T-Rex. The fossil itself is stunning. Unlike most finds, this skull is almost completely intact. Jaw and skull still locked together as if frozen in time. Experts say it's one of the best pliosaur fossils ever discovered. The story of how it was found is just as wild. The tip of the snout was first spotted on the beach, leading to a daring excavation high up the cliff face. Now cleaned and preserved, the skull is heading to a museum in Kimmeridge, where it may reveal even more secrets of this ancient sea monster. Ancient human skeleton. A teenager in Utah is digging in his backyard, just trying to build a pond for fish. Instead of hitting water, his shovel strikes something else. Bones. At first he figures it's an animal, but after looking closer he realizes these are human remains. That's when things got really strange. The boy and his dad called the police, worried it might even be part of a crime scene. But when experts arrived, they confirmed the remains were ancient, about 1,000 years old. The bones belonged to a Native American who once lived in the Salt Lake Valley, a place where humans have been around for thousands of years. Archaeologists carefully removed the skeleton and sent it for analysis. Scientists will study the remains to learn details about the individual, like age, gender, and cultural ties. Once that's clear, tribal representatives will be contacted so the person can be reburied with proper traditions. Believe it or not, this isn't the first time something like this has happened in Utah. Every year, a handful of ancient graves are found by accident. It's a reminder that beneath today's backyards, pieces of the past are still waiting to be uncovered. 180 million years buried. Sometimes the past hides in the most unexpected places. In China's Yunnan province, road workers clearing soil for construction stumbled across something extraordinary. 2 dinosaur fossils buried just beneath the ground. The remains are from Lufengosaurus, a plant-eating dinosaur that lived about 180 million years ago during the early Jurassic period. One skeleton, Lufengosaurus magnus, is especially impressive. Its backbone, tail, and massive hind legs are still intact, stretching more than 16 feet in the ground. Experts believe that in life, this creature reached over 30 feet long. Unfortunately, its skull didn't survive, likely worn away over time. Not far from it, a second fossil, Lufengosaurus shuenei, was uncovered, though less complete. This one included parts of the tail and legs, showing it was smaller than the first. Still, finding 2 fossils so close together makes the site incredibly rare. Scientists are now working to protect the area, and there are even plans to build a museum right where the dinosaurs were found, meaning the new road might have to curve around history itself. These early sauropods were some of the ancestors of the largest creatures to ever walk the earth, and now they've reappeared where no one expected. The mysterious glass slab. Hidden inside a cave in northern Israel lies something that has puzzled experts for decades. A giant slab that looks like stone but is actually glass. It measures over 11 feet long, more than 6 feet wide, 1.5 feet thick, and weighs about 9 tons. When workers first uncovered it back in the 1960s, they assumed it was concrete. Even a bulldozer couldn't move it, so they simply built around it. Only later did researchers test a sample, and to everyone's shock, it turned out to be ancient glass, about 1,600 years old. The slab was created in a massive limestone tank where raw materials like sand were heated for days at extreme temperatures. The goal was to melt everything into a huge block, which could later be broken down and turned into thousands of glass vessels. But something went wrong. Too much lime mixed into the batch, and the heat didn't fully reach the bottom. Instead of clear, workable glass, the result was a cloudy, stone-like chunk. Mummy beneath the trash. In Lima, Peru, a team of archaeology students uncovered something completely unexpected, an ancient mummy hidden under what used to be a garbage dump. The discovery was made after crews cleared away tons of trash from the site. Once the digging began, students noticed hair and part of a skull poking out from the soil. What they had found was a burial dating back nearly 3,000 years from the Manche culture. The Manche people lived in the valleys around modern Lima between 1500 and 1000 BC. They are known for building U-shaped temples that faced the rising sun, and this mummy was buried right in the center of one. The body had been laid out flat, wrapped in cotton and plant fiber, very different from the curled, fetal burials common in other cultures of the region. Archaeologists believe the person may have been placed there as part of a ritual offering when the temple was being completed. It's remarkable to think that beneath what locals once treated as a dump, history had been preserved for thousands of years. Now, instead of being forgotten under rubble, this mummy is offering new insight into a culture that thrived long before the Spanish ever arrived in Peru. Roman swords hidden in a cave. In the deserts of Israel, archaeologists exploring a remote cave stumbled upon a discovery that feels like something out of a movie. 4 Roman swords, nearly 1,900 years old, hidden away and almost perfectly preserved. Each sword still has its wooden and leather handle, with blades about 2 feet long. Alongside them, researchers also found the tip of a Roman javelin. The dry desert air helped preserve the weapons far better than in most places. Experts believe these swords weren't crafted locally. They were likely forged in distant provinces of the Roman Empire and carried across lands by soldiers. So how did they end up in this cave? Researchers think Jewish rebels seized the swords from Roman troops during the Bar Kokhba revolt, a rebellion against Rome in the 100s and 30s AD. To avoid being caught, they hid their weapons in this secret spot, never returning to claim them. The find wasn't even the main goal of the dig. Archaeologists had only gone to the cave to photograph an old Hebrew inscription from decades earlier. Instead, they uncovered a hidden piece of history, one that reveals both the reach of Rome and the desperate fight of those who resisted it. Ancient Greek computer. Over 2,000 years ago, long before modern technology, Greek craftsmen built a device so advanced that scientists today call it the world's first computer. Known as the Antikythera mechanism, it was about the size of a shoebox and powered by a system of gears and dials. With just a turn of a handle, it could predict the positions of the sun, the moon, and even eclipses years in advance. The machine was discovered by sponge divers in 1900, pulled from a shipwreck near the island of Antikythera. At first, it looked like nothing more than corroded bronze scraps. Only later did experts notice tiny gears and Greek inscriptions, realizing it was something extraordinary. Modern scans have revealed just how complex it was. The mechanism tracked calendars, predicted lunar and solar eclipses, and even marked the schedule of Olympic Games. Its design was geocentric, showing the Earth at the center with the known planets orbiting around it. What makes it mysterious is not just how accurate it was, but how it came to exist at all. Nothing this advanced appeared again for more than 1,000 years. One accident at sea preserved a glimpse of genius far ahead of its time. Giant footprint in stone. In a remote part of South Africa, near the border of Swaziland, lies something that sparks endless debate: a massive footprint pressed into solid granite. The print measures nearly 4 feet long and looks as if it belonged to a giant who walked the earth millions of years ago. The footprint was first noticed in 1912 by a hunter named Stoffel Coetzee. Over a century later, it's still there, unchanged, and geologists can't fully explain it. Some argue it's just a strange case of erosion. Others believe it's far too precise to be a natural formation. One professor even joked that aliens arriving from space would be more likely than erosion creating such a perfect shape. The granite in which the footprint sits has been dated to as much as 3 billion years old, though many scientists place it closer to 200 million years. Either way, the numbers are staggering, and the mystery deepens when you consider how the mark could have formed in such ancient stone. Whether it's a natural oddity or a trace of something we can't yet explain, the giant footprint remains one of the strangest and most puzzling landmarks hidden in the South African wilderness. Elephant tusk found in Israel. In southern Israel, near Kibbutz Revadim, archaeologists uncovered something massive buried in the soil, a prehistoric elephant tusk stretching more than 8 feet long. The fossil is around 500,000 years old and belonged to a straight-tusked elephant, a species even larger than the African elephants we know today. The tusk was first spotted by chance when a biologist noticed what looked like a bone sticking out of the ground. When experts examined it, they realized they were looking at the largest and most complete elephant tusk ever found in Israel or the entire Near East. Excavating it wasn't easy. The fossil was extremely fragile and risked crumbling when exposed to sunlight and air. It took specialists 2 weeks of careful work to remove it safely. The discovery is more than just a fossil. It raises big questions. The tusk was found separate from the rest of the skeleton, leading researchers to wonder if it was moved on purpose, perhaps used in rituals or as part of a feast. Today, the tusk is being studied and preserved. Once ready, it will go on display in Jerusalem, giving us a rare glimpse into a time when giant elephants roamed the land alongside early humans. Rosetta Stone. Over 200 years ago, a simple-looking rock changed history. The Rosetta Stone, carved in 196 BC, turned out to be the key that unlocked the lost language of ancient Egypt. This stone carried the same message written 3 ways: in Greek, Demotic script, and hieroglyphs. Since scholars already understood Greek, the idea was simple: line the texts up and decode hieroglyphs. But what looked like a quick puzzle ended up taking 2 decades to crack. The breakthrough came in 1822. French scholar Jean-François Champollion, who had spent his life obsessed with Egypt, realized hieroglyphs weren't just symbols for ideas. They represented sounds, too. Using his knowledge of Coptic, a later form of Egyptian, he pieced together names like Ptolemy and Ramses. With that, the language of the pharaohs spoke again for the first time in 1,400 years. The Rosetta Stone itself was found by French soldiers in 1799 near the town of Rosetta. After Napoleon's defeat, it ended up in Britain, where it still sits in the British Museum. Before its discovery, Egypt's past was silent. Afterward, entire civilizations came to life, proving this single stone wasn't just an artifact. It was the doorway to understanding one of the world's greatest cultures. Mystery of Voynich Manuscript. Locked away at Yale University sits one of the strangest books ever found, the Voynich Manuscript. At first glance, it looks like any old handwritten text, but then the mystery sets in. The pages are filled with an unknown alphabet no one has ever been able to read, paired with colorful illustrations of plants, star charts, and even strange biological drawings. The book first appeared in 1912, when a bookseller named Wilfred Voynich claimed to have discovered it. Since then, experts from linguists to codebreakers have tried to crack its meaning. Some believe it could be a lost medieval text. Others think it was the work of Roger Bacon, a 13th century English scholar and alchemist. But there's also a chance it could all be a carefully made hoax. Even with advanced computers and years of study, the language has never been fully decoded. Tests on the vellum pages confirm it's several centuries old, yet the purpose behind it remains out of reach. Is it science, medicine, or pure invention? Until someone manages to translate its words, the Voynich manuscript remains one of history's greatest literary mysteries, an unreadable book that refuses to give up its secrets. The Spirit Cave Man. In 1940, deep inside a cave in Fallon, Nevada, archaeologists made a discovery that would rewrite parts of North America's history. Wrapped in woven mats and a skin robe, lay the naturally preserved body of a man who lived almost 9,400 years ago. The dry desert air, combined with the protection of the mats, kept the body in remarkable condition. When first uncovered, the man's head was still intact, complete with hair. He stood about 5 feet 2 inches tall and was believed to be in his mid-40s when he died. He even wore moccasins on his feet, showing the care taken in his burial. Later studies revealed painful details of his life. His skull showed signs of a fracture, and his teeth were badly infected with abscesses. Experts believe either the head injury or the infection likely caused his death. Genetic studies also revealed that Spirit Caveman looked different from modern tribes, sparking debate about his origins and whether he belonged to an earlier separate group of people. Today, the mummy rests in the Nevada State Museum, a reminder of how fragile yet enduring human history can be, and how much mystery still lies buried beneath the earth. Dead Sea Scrolls fragments. In the harsh cliffs of the Judean desert, archaeologists have uncovered new pieces of one of history's greatest finds, the Dead Sea Scrolls. Nearly 80 tiny fragments of parchment, written in Greek almost 1,900 years ago, were discovered in a cave ominously called the Cave of Horror. The cave earned its name decades ago when the remains of 40 people were found there, believed to have died during the Jewish revolt against Rome in the 130s AD. The scrolls add to the collection first discovered in the 1940s and 50s, which include the oldest known copies of biblical texts. Though the new fragments are small, they offer new details that help scholars understand how these writings evolved into the forms we know today. But that wasn't all. In the same excavation, archaeologists found a 6,000-year-old child mummy and what may be the world's oldest woven basket, dated at 10,500 years old. The dry desert air preserved them in remarkable condition. The discovery was part of a major effort to survey caves before looters could reach them. For the first time in 70 years, experts managed to recover ancient treasures from these remote cliffs before they could vanish into the black market. White Sands Footprints. In White Sands National Park, New Mexico, researchers uncovered something that shook the timeline of human history in the Americas. Footprints preserved in the ancient mud. These aren't just any footprints. Tests suggest they could be as old as 23,000 years, making them the oldest known human prints on the continent. That date is shocking because for decades, most experts believed the first people here were the Clovis culture, arriving around 13,000 years ago. If the White Sands footprints really are 23,000 years old, it means humans were walking across North America thousands of years earlier, during the Ice Age, when massive glaciers covered the land. Scientists dated the prints by testing seeds found in the layers of sediment above and below them. Critics argued the seeds might give false dates, but new studies confirm the results. The prints are at least 17,000 years old and likely older. If true, this changes everything we thought we knew about migration. Early humans may have reached the Americas by following the Pacific coast, crossing ice sheets, or even using island routes long before the famous ice-free corridor opened. These footprints are small, but their impact on history is enormous. Petralona Skull. In northern Greece, inside Petralona Cave, a skull was found that continues to baffle scientists. Discovered in 1960, the fossil was stuck to the cave wall with a stalagmite actually growing out of it. For decades, experts argued over its age and even where it fits on the human family tree. Now, new research finally gives us some answers. Using advanced dating methods on the calcite that formed around the skull, scientists determined it's at least 277,000 years old, likely closer to 300,000. That makes it far older than most early human remains in Europe. The real mystery? The skull doesn't match modern humans or Neanderthals. Instead, it seems to represent a separate ancient group that lived in Europe long before our species arrived, and possibly even alongside Neanderthals. Earlier studies had wildly different age estimates, anywhere from 170,000 to 700,000 years. This new research narrows it down, but it still leaves big questions. Who was this person? What group did they belong to? And why don't we see more remains like it? The Petralona skull remains one of the most puzzling fossils ever found. An ancient face staring back from a time before humans as we know them walked the earth. Moai statue found on Easter Island. Easter Island, one of the most remote places on Earth, is famous for its mysterious stone giants known as Moai. Nearly 1,000 of these statues stand across the island, carved by the Rapa Nui people more than 500 years ago. But just recently, archaeologists uncovered a new one, unlike any found before. This Moai was revealed in a dried-out lakebed, hidden for centuries beneath water and reeds. Smaller than many of the island's massive statues, it still carries deep meaning for the Rapa Nui community, who see the Moai as sacred representations of their ancestors. The discovery has experts excited because it suggests more statues could be buried beneath the lake sediments, waiting to be uncovered as climate changes continue to reshape the island. Some even hope tools or writings linked to the carving of these figures may surface as well. While the Moai range in size, with some towering 33 feet tall and weighing up to 80 tons, each one tells part of the island's story. This new find proves that Easter Island may still be keeping secrets beneath its soil, and even in the places where no one expected to find them. Treasure of the Copper Scroll. Among the famous Dead Sea Scrolls, one stands apart, the Copper Scroll. Unlike the others written on leather or papyrus, this one was engraved on thin sheets of copper nearly 2,000 years ago. And instead of prayers or laws, it reads like a treasure map. Discovered in 1952 inside Cave 3 near Qumran, the scroll was so corroded it had to be cut into pieces just to be read. What it revealed shocked scholars. A list of secret locations across ancient Palestine, each said to contain massive amounts of gold, silver, and sacred objects. Some passages even give digging instructions, 3 cubits down, or under the steps to the east. The text also includes odd Greek letters at the end of some sections, codes no one has ever explained. Were they names of guardians, or clues to unlock the locations? Debate still rages about whether the treasures were real or symbolic. Some think they were temple riches hidden during times of war. Others argue the scroll is a work of legend, inspired by Jewish stories of lost holy objects like Solomon's treasures. Whether fact or fable, the Copper Scroll reads like an ancient quest, one that still hasn't reached its end. Guardian of Bantay Prey. At Cambodia's Angkor Wat Archaeological Park, workers clearing rubble from a collapsed gate made an incredible find. A life-sized sandstone statue of a temple guardian, hidden beneath the dirt for more than 700 years. The statue, known as a Dvarapala, once stood watch at the entrance of Bantay Prey Temple, built in the late 1200s or early 1300s under King Jayavarman VII. Though broken into several pieces, the figure remains remarkably preserved. It's over 5 feet tall, carved in the Bayonne style, famous for its calm expressions and faint smiles. The guardian likely held a weapon, symbolizing protection over the temple's sacred grounds. Archaeologists believe the statue was buried when part of the gate collapsed centuries ago. It was found less than 3 feet underground, head down and facing west, with parts of its club missing. Despite the damage, its survival is seen as a major discovery for the Rapa Nui community. The guardian statue is now being preserved at a local museum for further study. It joins countless other treasures recently uncovered across Angkor Wat, one of the largest religious monuments on Earth. Each discovery reveals more about the incredible artistry and spiritual traditions of this ancient empire, Egypt's lost city of gold. In Egypt's eastern desert, archaeologists have uncovered a 3,000-year-old gold processing complex at Jabal Sukkari near Marsa Alam. The site, buried for millennia, reveals how ancient Egyptians once mined and processed one of the world's most precious metals. The massive complex includes grinding and crushing stations, clay furnaces for smelting quartz, and basins used for separating gold from stone. It paints a clear picture of how workers turned raw rock into gleaming treasure thousands of years ago. Alongside the industrial area, archaeologists also uncovered the remains of homes, temples, and workshops, evidence that miners and their families lived right beside the wealth they were producing. What makes this discovery even more striking is its long history. The site didn't just serve the Egyptians, it remained active through the Ptolemaic, Roman, and even Islamic periods, showing that gold has always drawn civilizations back to this desert. Excavations also revealed hundreds of inscribed pottery shards, coins, figurines, and even statues of Egyptian deities. Together, these finds give us a rare look into the lives of the people who worked under the blazing desert sun to pull gold from the earth. Thanks for watching, friends. If you had a good time, hit like and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Catch you in the next one.